Story 1. From about age 15 to 17 I had something happening in my house that I still can't fully explain. The center of it all seemed to be mirrors. The mirrors in my house always felt wrong. I don't know how else to describe it. Being around them made me feel like there was this strange energy coming off the glass, like an aura or pressure. If I was alone, I constantly felt watched. Around the same time I started having the same nightmare over and over. In the dream I would be standing in front of a mirror doing something normal. Brushing my hair, washing my face, something like that. Then my reflection would stop copying me. It would move on its own and slowly turn sinister. Right after that my nose would start bleeding. The worst part is I would wake up with a real nosebleed. This started happening nightly. At first I started covering the mirror in my room before bed. That actually seemed to help for a while, but eventually the nightmares came back and got worse. Sleep stopped feeling normal. I could sleep for hours and still wake up exhausted. Sometimes I'd wake up in the middle of the night needing to use the bathroom, but I hated leaving my room because there was a mirror in the bathroom and another one at the end of the hallway. Every time I forced myself to walk past them, when the dream stopped, and I was forced to get up or pee my pants, it was around 3 a.m. And multiple times my nose started bleeding right after passing those mirrors, if I failed to wake up with one. I know how that sounds, but living through it was terrifying. One night I got desperate and started reading Bible verses with a candle lit. While I was reading, the lights in the house started flickering. Then I heard loud banging on the back door like someone was trying to break in. I also saw what looked like a human shadow on the wall. I put the candle down to go check the door. As soon as I stepped out of my room, the glass candle holder exploded. Other weird things started happening too. I watched a cup slide off my kitchen counter by itself once. My dog would randomly growl at empty parts of the room and refuse to sleep alone. A few times I went to bed with the lights off and woke up with them on. Most nights I was alone there. My dad worked out of Providence, so I was staying at his place taking care of our dog. My grandparents lived next door, but the house itself was usually just me. And it got to the point where the haunting and dreams followed me when I'd leave the house. A friend of mine who said she practiced witchcraft came over to see if she could sense anything. Mirrors are portals. She lit a candle, turned the lights off, and started placing her hand on different mirrors. When we tried the mirror in my dad's bathroom, the candle flame suddenly went out. That freaked us out, but we kept going. Later we checked the dresser mirror in my dad's bedroom. Nothing happened at first, so we left to grab food. When we came back there was a dark handprint inside the mirror. It looked like it was behind the glass and wouldn't wipe off. In my room the mirror on my vanity ended up with 3 scratch marks across it. My friend also said the mirror in my sister's room felt like it had a black shapeless figure lurking. I had always gotten bad vibes from those mirrors even before all this started. The worst nightmare happened near the end of all of this. In the dream, a see-through figure stepped out of my bedroom mirror and touched my leg. It spoke in my own voice and said, "Let me in." I remember being too exhausted to react. I just kept thinking no, no, no. Then it said something that stuck with me. It's okay. I'll take over when you die at 27 anyway. After that, I refused to step foot in the house. Eventually, I told my grandma what was happening. Between prayer and some protection things my friend showed me, everything finally stopped. Nothing like that has happened to me since. Ironically, I'm a huge horror fan now, but movies like Oculus and Mirror still freak me out. The way reflections change when the character isn't looking is almost identical to what my nightmares were like. For a while I genuinely thought I was going insane. Someone later told me it might have been something called a clinger, basically an energy parasite that attaches to people during emotionally difficult times and feeds off negative emotions. My parents had just separated around that time and I was dealing with a lot. Whatever it was, I'm just glad it stopped. Story 2. Another strange thing happened years later, but only once. I had been researching my family history, specifically my great-great-grandmother who had been adopted. We knew little to nothing about her birth family. I was trying to figure out why she was put up for adoption. That night I went to bed early with one of those small electric fountains running, the kind that circulates water for relaxing sounds. I fell asleep feeling slightly uneasy but ignored it. At some point during the night I woke up suddenly and felt like someone was watching me. When I looked toward the corner of my room, there was a man standing there. He was wearing old-fashioned clothes, like a suit and top hat. Water was pouring out of his mouth like he was choking while trying to communicate with me. There was seaweed tangled in it too. His eyes were bloodshot. He reached towards me, confused, but started choking too aggressively on the water and seaweed, and his eyes rolled back. There was a blue color to his lips and skin. The weird part is I wasn't completely terrified. I was definitely disturbed, but there was also this strange calm feeling. I was extremely tired and my eyelids felt heavy, so eventually after creating a blanket barrier, I just drifted back to sleep. When I woke up in the morning, the fountain had turned off. And in the corner of the room, exactly where the man had been standing, there was a puddle of water on the floor that made me stop where I was and realize it wasn't a dream. Later that day, while researching more about my family, I found the reason my great-great-grandmother was put up for adoption. Her father passed away, and her mother couldn't handle the financial burden of children. He died in a shipwreck. He drowned.